Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being with us today. My name is Dan Bell. I'm with the City of Glendale, and we're pleased to have you here with us today as we rename Maryland Avenue to Artsakh Avenue. Thank you. I will tell you, please, if you want to mark this on your calendars, your social calendars, we are streaming this live on our Facebook page at MyGlendale. So please go back and view this, or on your phones, check in, view that. But enough of that. Before this, I would like to welcome to the stage our Honorable Mayor, Zari Sinanian.
Good morning. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and I'd like to ask Father Oskin to deliver an invocation.
Almighty God, most great, accept our prayers and supplications this morning and the adoration of our hearts in your holy and heavenly sanctuary. Shed forth unto us the light of your righteousness and wisdom, and make us the children of light and children of the day, so that during this coming day we may pass our life in guidelines and end it without offense. For you are our helper and Savior, and to you is befitting glory, dominion, and honor, now and always, forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you, Father Voskin. So once again, good morning, dear friends, dignitaries, holy fathers, residents of Glendale, and guests. So before I make my comments, I want to make sure I do one of the most important things that any mayor or council member should do, which is introduce those that are present. And I will, of course, start with my colleagues, Glendale Council Member Ara Najarian, Council Member Vartan Garpetian, Council Member Paula Devine, Council Member Vreja Rajanyan. From the office of Congressman Adam Schiff, we have Mary Hovagimian with us. Our State Senator Anthony Portino is here. I think Assembly Member Laura Friedman's representative, Victoria Dorcholian, is here. And from our supervisor, Catherine Barger's office, Jason Maruka is here. Thank you. Also in attendance, our city manager, Yasmin Beers. I'm gonna go through a lot of city officials, so if you wanna, let me go fast. City Attorney Mike Garcia. All right. City Treasurer Rafi Manoukian. City Clerk Artie Kasakian. Assistant City Manager Rubik Golanyan. Deputy City Manager John Takhtalian. Director of Glendale Water and Power Steve Zern. Our Assistant City Manager Rubik Golanyan is here. I think I already mentioned that. He wears several hats, so his name appears like 5 times on this list. Director of Human Resources Matt Doyle. Director of Information Services, Jason Bradford. Director of Finance, Bob Elliott. Director of Community Services and Park, Onik Bulanikian. We have Director of Communications and Community Relations, Tom Lorenz. Director of Community Development, Philip Lanzafame. Director of Innovation, Performance, and Audit, Elena Bobolian. Our Police Chief, Kar Povalaitis. I think both of our Deputy Fire Chiefs are here. Thank you. And because this list has fire, Chief Fish on it, but Chief Fish is, as of Friday, is no longer with us. He's retired. He's good. He's great. We have Glendale Unified School Board members Armina Garpetian, Nairi Nahabedian, Shan Sahakian, Jennifer Freeman is here. I don't see Winfred Robinson. And that's my list. If I forgot anyone, I apologize. So thank you everyone for being here. So, today we're gathered on a truly historic and momentous occasion, the official unveiling of Artsakh Street. As many of you realize, this is more than just a naming or renaming of a street. By taking this step, for the first time in its history, Glendale is truly recognizing and commemorating the decades-long contribution of the large Armenian American community to this city. Despite what many think, the history of the Armenian American community in Glendale is very long and goes back to the turn of the 20th century. While no one has done an exhaustive study of the Armenian presence in Glendale, we do know, for example, that Paul Robert Ignatius, who served as U.S. Secretary of Navy from 1967 to 1969, was born in Glendale in 1920. But it is beyond dispute that the community shaped in its current form over the last 4 decades, making today's Glendale the epicenter of Armenian diaspora in the United States. Since the late 1970s, several waves of migration from the Middle East, Armenia, and the former Soviet Union have resulted in nearly 100,000 Armenians making Glendale their home, the birthplace of their children, and the place of business. The Armenian American community has poured their hearts and souls into Glendale and have come to consider Glendale the center of the Armenian diaspora in the West. In June, City Council, despite some considerable resistance from certain circles, finally took the step of creating the first place name in Glendale that is steeped in Armenian history, culture, and heritage, and finally acknowledges and recognizes the immense contribution of the Armenian American community to Glendale. The original location, suggested by Unified Young Armenians, who are also here present with us, was a freeway off-ramp and involved renaming a street that was named after a historical figure. And the City Council settled on a portion of Maryland Street, located in beautiful downtown Glendale in the Arts and Entertainment District. And the site, what is envisioned to be a future promenade, as the optimal location for such a street. Artsakh Street will be a focal point in our downtown and located adjacent to our Central Library, the future Armenian American Heritage Museum, the Americana, and Brand Boulevard, will expand and deepen the scope of our downtown. And it is only symbolic that Artsakh is the name of the street that we are unveiling today. For it is part of Armenia which was never subdued by dozens of nomadic tribes, the empires and various tyrants that have invaded and ravaged the rest of Armenia in the last 1,000 years. I was in Artsakh just 2.5 weeks ago with our Senator Portantino and City Clerk Ardashes Kasakyan. And once again, I was in awe of the achievements of the people of Artsakh, the easternmost province of Armenia, who despite the perpetual state of ceasefire punctuated by heavy clashes, have created a safe and peaceful life for its 150,000 residents. The very American principles of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness are at the core of the ethos of the people of Artsakh, who with the help of Armenian diaspora between 1988 and 1994 fought and against all odds prevailed in an unequal war against Azerbaijan with its 7 million population. Due to the unwavering will to be free and live in their millennia-old homeland, Artsakh and its population were spared the fate of most of the Armenian homeland: genocide, depopulation through deportation of its indigenous peoples, and loss. Today, we're unveiling our Artsakh Street and are celebrating all of the free people of the world, and most importantly, that of the United States that have been the primary champions of the ideals of liberty and freedom. Lastly, during our meeting with Artsakh officials, including the president, the foreign minister, and the mayor of Stepanakert, the capital of Artsakh, there were some preliminary indications that Glendale may become a place name in Artsakh in recognition and gratitude to the people of Glendale. So stay tuned. Nothing specific yet. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for your support on this important event. We look forward to seeing you and your families very frequently on Artsakh Street. That's it. Thank you. And now I'd like to, I would like to invite our State Senator Portantino to address those in attendance.
Unlike the good father, I took the stairs. What a wonderful morning to be here. I want to give a big shout out to Mayor Sinanian and the City Council of Glendale for this day being here, a reality, naming this street for Artsakh. As the mayor said, I just got back from a trip, my second trip to Artsakh 2.5 weeks ago, and I just love Artsakh. The people, to think that you're under a threat of imminent violence every single day. The people are so peaceful and serene and calm, and their leadership is just amazing. The spirit of the community, it just struck at my heart. We visited a monastery, and the priest who was reconstructing the monastery was part of the liberation of that monastery in the 90s. And that's the spirit of Artsakh. You fought for your land, and now you're making something out of the land. I had a proud moment with the president where I said we had something in common. We each represent 150,000 Armenians. And the president loved the fact that I share that in common with the president of Artsakh. When we visited the foxhole for the second time, many of you have heard me talk about the spirit of the soldiers 2 years ago when a major handed me a handful of dirt, and he said, "This is our land. We're going to stand on our land, we're going to fight on our land, and we're going to die on our land." And it struck both of us. I remember Zari was in tears because he translated for me. And that's the spirit of Artsakh, and that's why it's so important for Glendale to recognize that spirit. My office actually faces Artsakh Street, and I'm happy about that, so I get to look at this wonderful place every day. And so this year, when I was at the front in Agdam, I reached down and I grabbed a handful of rocks right outside the foxhole from Artsakh, and I wanted to bring them for this dedication today. So I'm going to place these rocks from Artsakh. I'm not going to tell anybody, but I'm going to put them in the flower bed so nobody takes them. But these are, and I didn't ask the Federal Agricultural Commission for permission. I just put them in my pocket. But these rocks are from not just Artsakh, but from the front lines and the feet of where the proud and brave soldiers walk every day to defend the spirit of Artsakh. And so I'm going to place them in the flower bed to honor Glendale and to honor the spirit of Artsakh. Thank you for letting me say a few words, and this truly is a magical day.
Thank you, Mr. Senator. And we have a very special guest in attendance with us today, and that is the representative of the Republic of Artsakh in the United States, Robert Avedisian. I'd like to ask him to say a few words and deliver a message from the people of Artsakh.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. I'm very happy to be here with you and share this excellent occasion. I cannot get enough of watching on this street now. It was beautiful before, but now it is, of course, much more dear to us. In Artsakh, we were very much inspired to get the news about the naming of one of the streets in Glendale after our young republic. It was a testament for us that the cooperation which Artsakh is having with the state of California and with various cities is continued. Most of us know that California is one of the states which recognized the independence of Artsakh, and we have now sister city of friendship city relations with various cities, Burbank, Pico Rivera, Highland, Montebello, of course, and many others. And this is the testament for the signal that this important process is going to continue. It is also a strong testament for all of us in Artsakh, in Armenia, in the United States, in Glendale, that this city, that this community, that this state continues to cherish and to respect its entire diversity. And I'm very glad that this city is paying due respect, proper respect to its Armenian community. And this is something, this is a value which should be appreciated by everyone, not only Armenians, but also the non-Armenians residing in this beautiful city. I want to extend my heartfelt thank you to Mayor Sinanian, to all the members of the City Council, to all the organizations and individuals who are behind this effort. I know that there have been some processes and some additional unnecessary headaches for the businesses here, but I'm sure that it will all be soon reimbursed by the increased flow of Armenian and non-Armenian visitors, and they will see that Artsakh brings only prosperity and unity. And we've been following this process, of course, and one of the comments under this initiative, which was publicly published, and it was said, well, why Artsakh? Why not anything American? I would like to say that the story of Artsakh is very much the story of America. It is the freedom, it is persistence, it is equality, it is dignity, it is respect, and it is friendship and hospitality, of course. So I would like to invite all of you, those of you who have been in Artsakh, to come again anytime. Those of you who haven't been to Artsakh, visit us, and I'm sure that many of you will feel home there. Thank you very much, and all the best to you.
And now, the true heroes of the day, because without them, this would not be possible, and that's the Glendale City Council. I'd love to invite them up to deliver their message. All together, separately, either way. Yeah.
All together. We live together, we die together. My name's Ara Najarian, everyone. It's so great to have such a wonderful turnout for this momentous occasion. The mayor said much of my heartfelt feelings and emotions. This was a little bit of a rocky ride. You might think that just having 4 Armenians on the city council, this would be a snap to do, but no, believe me, it wasn't. The first proposed location for Artsakh Street, which everyone thought would be a great spot, there were no businesses that had to be renamed or relocated, turned to be Sanchez Drive. Well, if you dug a little deeper, Sanchez was one of the first Mexican-American founders of Glendale. He was a county supervisor. That brought some resistance from the Latino community. So the city of Glendale pivoted, and we decided to pick a beautiful street that had been underutilized and use the name to invigorate it. We had a name for this district. It was the Arts and Entertainment District. So now I think appropriately we can call it the Artsakh and Entertainment District. And even then it wasn't that easy. Let me tell you, there was a lot of pushback from the community. Why are we naming it Artsakh? What is Artsakh? Why have a foreign sounding name? And in our city council meeting, I did some research and I went through all the list of the names of streets in Glendale, and we have names from the Middle East, from Iraq, from Uzbekistan. Was that the city? No, because he brought out the name. I said, what is this name from? And Zara says, oh, that's in Uzbekistan. So it's only appropriate that we dedicate this street to Artsakh. And it's not just the name of a street. It's not just a country. But as the special envoy said, Artsakh is a spirit. It's a spirit that the United States was founded on, that of independence, that of unity, that of inclusiveness. And I am very proud of all the things I've done on the city council, swimming pool, transportation, other things like that. Perhaps this is the most lasting and will be a legacy that I could maybe show to my grandkids, if I live that long, that this is what your grandpappy had a hand in doing. And I hope all the residents of Glendale, both Armenian and non-Armenian, look at this street with pride and enjoy what's going to happen here. It's going to be a great promenade, a great location for everyone. Thank you.
Good morning. Well, here we are. Fantastic day, beautiful day. This recognition of Artsakh pays respect to the Armenian history, to the Armenian people, and to our Armenian community. We are proud of the diversity in Glendale. So let us celebrate this historic event which honors that pride. Thank you.
Well, good morning. Good morning. Well, it's an honor for me to be here today to celebrate this historic moment with all of you. First Street to be named after a very special region in Armenia, in that area. But anything related to Armenians in Glendale, just imagine the first street to be named after anything related to Armenians. This was way overdue, and I'm glad the moment is here. Armenians have contributed for several decades to the well-being of Glendale, to its economy, to its quality of life, to its culture, to its history. Of course, it took a little while for us to get to this point because this council is a responsible council. It's a responsible council. We wanted to make the right decision for our community. First, as was mentioned by Councilmember Najarian, we wanted to, we went after Sanchez Street, but because of the history of Mr. Sanchez in Glendale, we decided to pivot and come to Maryland Avenue, which is part of our Arts and Entertainment District with a library and new Armenian American Museum coming around the corner. This will end up here, of course, that we are enjoying today. This will be a great addition to this area. I want to thank everyone who was involved in putting this thing together. Change is not easy. It doesn't come easy. But we have to make the right change. This was the right change. I want to thank everyone who was involved, the city staff. And nobody mentioned staff. Staff worked really hard on putting this package together and bringing it to council. Give a big round of applause for our staff. Of course, my colleagues, the ones who voted for this item to move forward, I want to thank them. And I want to specifically mention Unified Young Armenians because they were the ones, when was it, in 2017, April 23rd, at the Vigilite candle ceremony. They brought this idea up. Of course, it was Sanchez in the beginning. Then we had to make the right decision and choose Maryland. I was the mayor at that time. I'm proud of that it came at my mayorship time and council voted for it, pushed it forward. This is something to be proud of today for all of us and for many generations to come, for our children. As Councilmember Najarian took the words out of my mouth, and our children, our grandchildren, I'm going to be proud of telling them I had something to do with renaming this street. And for many generations to come, I want to thank you all again, and enjoy the rest of it. I can't wait to unveil the street name. Thank you very much. Oh, before I forget, Mr. Agajanian, let's get together. This is important. I want to have it. You too. All right. It was important. Selfies are important.
I'm supposed to know these things. You know how to straight the microphone and other stuff, but however. When it gets to my turn, they say whatever is possible to say, and they leave me with nothing. So I'm glad that I am here for opening or unveiling of Artsakh Street. So this is a great day for Armenians. But one interesting issue I want to raise here, Artsakh was divided in 5 khanet, or 5 parts, and each part has a ruler. So for hundreds of years, and that king for that area would rule, and then the son would come and continue when they were ruling that portion. Now we have 5 council members, so we want to divide this Artsakh in 5 divisions, and each one of us will rule portion of this Artsakh street. So this is the plan. We did it on purpose. So, I'm glad that we have the opportunity for the first time to have a street named after something to do with Armenians. We have 4 city council members. Armenians lived here, they participated, and they brought all these pretty buildings. With some, they are so angry. But however, Armenians been part of this city, and I think we deserve to have a street under name of Artsakh. Thank you for coming, and hopefully we will be enjoying going back and forth on this street and send pictures to all over the world to our relatives and say we have a street named after Armenians in Glendale. Thank you.
I said I want my area to be next to Urartu because their coffee and pastries are really good.
All right. It's all about unity. Let's keep it together. And on that note, let's unveil the street sign.
Behind me, please, behind me. Me too, or this is the council? There you go. Hold on one more. I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna do it in the picture. Okay. We can do it. One more. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Oh, just council?
Yeah. Yeah, you want to do it?
All right, so seems like the whole city staff is here. You know, it's a work day. We got to go back to the city. It's also council day today, so it's actually a very busy work day. So I want to formally thank all of you for being here, and thank you for making this possible. And I truly do hope to see you here as frequently as possible. This street has a great future, and we're all going to enjoy it, and this name is going to become a very commonplace in Glendale. So thank you very much.